It looks like we are live. We made it to yet another Wednesday. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Today we are doing part two. Part two is always fun because we get to work in color. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me see if I could make things a little less blue. I'm going to go here to effects and let's see, color. And let's see, I just got to change the color balance. And we'll just do a little less blue. And that looks a little closer to what we're working with. And maybe lower this just a tad. Okay. All right, so that looks pretty good. So, Mr. John Diekman, how are you all the way from Wisconsin? How's the weather out there? It is currently here in New York City metro area, 37 degrees Fahrenheit. How about you guys? So are you working hard? I know you're always working hard, but I think you always mentioned that it slows down during the holidays. Is that correct? Which I hope so. Most jobs are like that. Oh, 30-ish. Very similar. Very good. And of course, today, since we're doing the first layers of her skin, I like working with the Createx illustration colors, Tim Core's Bloodline, but his Lifeline set, which is really great. I really love it a lot. So that's really good. Dwayne, how's it going? How's it going? All the way from San Luis Obispo. Go Mustangs. Mr. Michael, how's it going? All the way from the Baltimore area. So not too far from Baltimore. I think, if I remember correctly, where you are has two. A city has two words in the name. Colette, how are you? It's so great to see you. How is everything? I'm so glad you're here, all the way from Wisconsin. Tonight we have. This is interesting. Raspberry Pink Lemonade by Pola. It's actually pretty good. Glen Burnie, that's right. So, this is a very good seltzer, by the way. It is a little on the chilly side tonight, but that's cool. So I'm so glad Mike and John and Colette and Dwayne are here. So glad to see you. It is so great. So tonight we are going to start working in color, and we're going to be working with the illustration line, the Bloodline, but within the Bloodline, the Lifeline colors, which I love so much, you know. Hey, Mr. Patrick, how's it going? Great to see you, my friend. Happy holidays. I'm so glad you're here. That is so great. So I'm so glad Patrick is here, all the way from Massachusetts. So now we have to make sure that this is lined up, because I work so hard on the drawing and then the underpainting, so we have to make sure that this is on the money. And so cool, such great people here today. Thank you so much for hanging out on a cold, blustery Wednesday evening. So I love this Tim Gord Lifeline set. If you haven't gotten it, I really recommend getting it. I mean, it's really fantastic. Scale of 1 to 10, it's a 20 in my book. I use it all the time for my portraits, whether I'm doing an oil painting or an airbrush painting. I use it all the time. Colors like this one, Olive, which is really great for midtones. I got to make sure I get all of them here. Let's see. We have, and then of course we're going to be doing Wicked on top, right? This is just an underpainting. Oh, Pouring Rain by Mr. Dwayne. Oh man, be careful out there, my friend. So this I love for the lips. Beautiful color. This is called Natural Lip, by the way, which is great. So that's fantastic. And looking for ones. They have colors like espresso and stuff like that. I talked to Dennis over at Createx, and he mentioned very cool that you can use the Lifeline colors as an underpainting, which is great. So I have a box here. See if I'm missing any of them. Well, here's Detail Flesh Tone, which is really good. That's wicked, though. We'll use that later. Oh, here's Lifeline Deep Blush, which is really good. Roy, how's it going? All the way from Jersey. How are you, sir? Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's another one. This is Deep Natural, so it's a little bit darker. Kind of reminds me of women's makeup. Here's a light olive gold, which we'll be using for her complexion, which is great. Right there. And let's see. And I think that's pretty much up. Oh, that's wicked. And that is it. So we have the whole set here, which is amazing. And we'll put this aside. Hey, honey, how's it going? Great to see you, honey, all the way from Long Island. Mr. Steve Leahy, how's it going? All the way from Ohio. Brad Mummery, all the way from, Brad Mummery is all the way from Manitoba, Canada. Mr. Steve Leahy, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. It's so great to have you guys and girls hang out with me, but to support the channel is beyond an honor. Thank you so much. It's an honor, Mr. Leahy, adding your expertise and your kindness and your great sense of humor. So the channel would not be the same without you. And doubly, thank you so much for the support, sir. That is above and beyond kindness. So thank you, sir. Thank you, definitely. So that is so great. So now I have to decide what I'm going to do. Okay, so here's the rundown. Last week we had the line drawing. I went in with the white mixture, 50-50 illustration white. Then I came in and with my Airbrush India inks, I went ahead and kind of mapped everything out in black and white. Then today what I did was around 1 o'clock is I went ahead and shellacked everything, and what that does is locks everything in. So the underpainting cannot be messed up or smeared or anything. It's locked in. And it will accept, the way that it works on the 184-pound paper, it will accept unlimited amounts of paint, whether it be illustration, oil, or wicked. It's great. Mr. John Thickman, thank you so much for the Christmas gift, my friend. Thank you for the support. It's always wonderful to see you, my friend from Wisconsin. John Diekman's been a friend of the channel for so long, and I really rely on your great comments and really rely on, you know, you coming and just giving this channel just the amount of character and insight that we need to keep going. And honey, thank you for the super chat, $20. I appreciate you so much. This is amazing. You guys are just, guys and girls are just so over the top amazing. Thank you, honey, for being who you are and how supportive you are of the art world, the airbrush world, and definitely how supportive you are of the channel. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are amazing. Oh my God, Brad Mummery. It's a Christmas miracle, guys. Thank you. Brad with $20. You guys are just like outrageous. This is incredible. Brad and I have been working on this amazing painting of Amy Lee, and we're having a great time. Brad, thank you always for your support, for coming to the live streams and being a good friend. Always look forward to that, and thank you, sir. Mr. Patrick with the super chat, thank you so much. It says, ain't no grits without some cheese, and some green comes to go with it. Thank you so much. Patrick gave this amazing, me and Patrick are doing this amazing portrait of a Harlequin together. It's really coming out good. His work is just blowing me away. He always says he's not an artist, but he is a true artist. I just want you to know that. Mr. Dwayne Marshall, thank you so much, my friend, for this super chat. This is becoming an amazing night. And I didn't even like touch the airbrush yet. You guys are just so fantastic. $20 super chat from Dwayne. Thank you. Dwayne, thank you for all your wicked knowledge and your airbrush knowledge and how you bring everything together. It's just literally outrageous to have you with us. And I would not be half the wicked painter without you and Steve, because you guys have helped me so much along. And then on top of that, with your very generous super chat, thank you so much, sir. And Michael McClung with the $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. You are amazing. Thank you for buying the airbrush. Thank you for all your support and encouraging me with your artwork, especially the automobiles that you're doing. And I just want to say I'm so happy that you're part of our group. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the super chat and for your friendship. And seeing you during the week is just incredible. You guys and girls are being just super extra incredible today. I'm telling you, it's just really amazing. So now you guys are just really got me speechless. I did see that Mr. Air Todd is here. Great to see you. He says some of you he has on Facebook, his Facebook was hacked. Oh no. So sorry to hear that. Oh man, that really stinks when that happens. So I don't like to hear that. I hope you get that fixed really soon, sir. And Honey says it's a money tree Christmas for Tim. Yes, it is. You guys are just incredible. And I just want to say thank you. It really helps so much keeping the channel alive and keeping it thriving. And that's what I'm really hoping for. Bobby, how's it going? Great to see you, Mr. Silva. I am so glad you're here. And Merry Christmas. So thank you so much for hanging out. That's so great. And thank you. Mr. Steve says Tim deserves it. I appreciate you, sir. Really so much. It is just such an honor to hang with you guys. And I just, I'm just super honored to know all of you, you know. We have a nice little community here. It's growing slowly, but it doesn't have to grow that fast. I'm really happy with the community the way it is. I'm just super excited. So now I want to go ahead and hit the midtones of her. And with this wonderful set, and if you don't have the Lifeline set, really ask Santa to get it for you, because I know you're going to just be super happy with it. I just know it. And I'm gonna ask Santa if you guys could get it, because it is just super amazing. So it's not open yet, so we're gonna probably lighten it up. So that's cool. So that is so great. And new studio, so some growing pains with the new studio, but very, very happy with it, everybody. And I'm so happy that, we didn't miss a Wednesday. We kept it going. And so I'm excited. So we are doing something new. I'm going to be doing 3 live streams a week. I'm not sure which days. But one is going to be oil painting for airbrush artists. And I believe that's going to be on Sundays. And then I think Fridays might be going back to just the India ink. And then Wednesday, of course, working with Wicked and stuff like that, which would be super amazing. So right now I have this color, but I want to lighten it up. So I am going to use some illustration white. And let's see if I can find it. So I'm looking for illustration white. Let's see. Here we go. I think this will do. Make sure if I don't see it here. Okay, so we're going to use this. This is 5060 illustration opaque white. Let's give that a shot. Let's see how that goes. And I just want to lighten it up a little bit. And we're going to mix this up, guys, and see how that goes. And keep our fingers crossed. Now, what I'm learning is that, you know, from Mr. Steve Leahy and watching his incredible live streams, is to go ahead and don't be afraid to dilute, right? He does that. He dilutes it. And with great success, mind you. So I'm kind of taking his lead, diluting it a bit more than just 40-50ing it, because I want to get a little better flow, and that might be a good way to do it. So we are going to do some 40-50, but we're going to be a little more ambitious, a little more here. I might make it a bit lighter because I really want to brighten up her face. But first I'm going to dilute it significantly, and then we're going to go ahead and let's see how this goes. I like this color, and one thing I'm noticing, and you know, you experienced airbrush artists, let me know that it may look darker in the cup, but when you spray it, it's much lighter because you diluted it and it's much thinner. I'm finding that out. What are your thoughts, guys and girls? So I'm putting a little bit of this in there. So I'm so glad to see you, Brad, and thank you, Brad, for that wonderful super chat. And I'm always going to test it before I go ahead and... So it's very light, and we're just going to go ahead and do a glaze over the light color that I have. Very lightly, and I'm pretty happy with it thus far. And this is the light olive gold with some illustration, actually opaque white with that. And I'm glad I went a little bit darker than I normally would be, because, you know, I am finding out that it always is darker in the cup than when you spray it. And what's your feelings on that, Mr. Dwayne and Mr. Leahy? Cheese Rich says, test? We don't test. We put it in paint and just go for it. Yes. That is a good way to be. Just throw caution to the wind and just spray, right? Jump first and figure out how you're going to land later. So I'm about 4 inches away. And it's the spray and spray pigment. Spray and pray. Well, praying always is good. So I'm really liking it. I'll zoom in so maybe we can see it a little bit more clear. See how it was dark in the cup, but it's quite light? So I think that's a very good method. And I'm learning. I'm playing with paint more and just attacking it, you know. And let's see. Mr. Leahy says, yeah, I spray it and then fix it later kind of guy. Well, you always fix it perfectly, sir. Now, it's important that I'm about 3.5 inches away, because I don't want any kind of blotchiness. And I'm going over in the shadowy areas a little bit, because I don't want, you know, one color then next color. I want it to be kind of, you know, assimilated skin tones. But still light where I can see all the hard work of the underpainting, which is really great, you know. And Michael is laughing, and Patrick saying, yeah, but Steve, when you have to fix it, it requires jeweler's eyes and tweezers. That's true how small Mr. Leahy's work is. Okay, let's see. So I really like this color, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and work on her hand. I'm going to remove this. I don't have a hand stencil, so we're going to have to kind of go in like a cowboy, but very happy with the way that this, so think about it guys, for your initial layer, light olive gold, some opaque white by Create Text Illustration as well, and then about 3 to 1 of that mixture of the 4011, and it really worked out well. Oh, look at that. Dwayne says, grab another brush and keep going. Very cool. Well, you have to. You're like a mural painter, so you have to keep going. Always great information from Steve and Mr. Dwayne, that's for sure. Thank you again, guys, for the amazing super chats. Just want to say thank you. See how I'm able, so let's zoom in on that finger and just see how this is really working, you know, as I do this. And I actually use this lifeline as an underpainting for my oils. And I can imagine doing this as an underpainting for my pastels. So I'm really a big fan of strong drawing, good lights and darks, and then coming in with color, and then bringing it all together. Now any pencil lines left here at this point, I'm left with them. So, but I can use opaque, like the new opaque line by Wicked. That works really well to cover anything such as pencil lines. Okay, very pleased so far. And that's really only the flesh that I see, but there is stuff in the background, right? So let's zoom out and see how we like it. Really wonderful the way that is. I may do another coat. I really like the color. It's so rich yet so light. And again, we wouldn't think that this dark is working that light, but hey, Patty, all the way from Illinois, how are you? I am so glad to see you as always. And I know during the holidays you're always so busy, so I'm so happy you're here. And what are you working on now in the art room? I know you were doing, you sent some really amazing Christmas ornaments last year. I just love them. They're just so amazing. So glad you're here and taking time out of your busy Christmas season. So way to go, Patty, for being here. Thank you. Okay, so there is some flesh in the background. So we're going to go ahead and work on that. Let's see. It's hard to see. That's not glare. That's me doing the ground. I'll zoom in. Now these figures that you see are very, they're very, you know, just very general images. Let me see if I can see it without the glare. Okay, that's better. And of course I'm using my Extreme Patriot arrow. And some people wonder, can the Extreme Patriot arrow handle working with Createx and, you know, illustration and Wicked? It passes with flying colors. Really does. Just some little fleshly areas there, and that's pretty cool. Michael says, Tim, I cannot wait to work with the airbrush. When he goes home Saturday, it will be at the house. So great. I got to send you a video on setting it up. And it's so glad to hear you're going to use it on the GTO and the VW. That is such amazing news. But definitely, I'm going to send you that video of how to set it up. And so that's great. And if you have any questions, never hesitate to ask me. I am always super excited to help you guys and girls out. Whether you purchase my airbrush or not, but I'm especially thankful that you trusted me to purchase an airbrush. So thank you there, Mr. Michael, for that. I have one left right now, and then the rest is going to be on a waiting list. So there's one. Let me show you guys, just so anyone out there wants one. It's already assembled and let go. Let's see. Let me pull this out here. Nice and shiny and new and beautiful. There it is. So it's all ready to go. Got the needle separated. If anyone decides to get this for themselves or someone else, it will ship out next business day. And I always include gifts and stuff. That's just my way. So that's so cool. And okay, so now we have this, but I want an even coat, so I'm going to do another layer of everything here. And not be so precious on going over the midtones or anything. Just get a really nice coat. There we go. Very nice. Now her lips are always kind of a fleshy color, so I'm going to paint the lips. I'm going to paint it flesh because there's flesh in the lips, you know. So I'm going to do that. And now, let's see, what would be the next thing to do? We can go ahead and kind of work on the darks, right? So I am going to keep this airbrush there, and then I'm going to use another airbrush for the darks, and then we'll decide to clean the airbrush later down the line. So let's see. So we're going to be using the Extreme Patriot 105 customized version by myself, and now we got to figure out the dark, right? And Michael says, there you go, everybody, that's his Christmas present who he's getting for him. That's cool. And so let's see. So John is here. Where's John? Someone said hi, John. Oh, John Diekman. Yes, so John Diekman is here. Very cool. And okay, so we want to get a flesh tone, and I see red, right? I see a beautiful red. So we're going to stay with these colors. This is Tim Gore's blush, which is interesting. We're going to think about that. Here's Tim Gore's natural lip. We're going to think about that. But we also have deep blush, which is a dark, but I don't think it's quite dark enough. And then we have deep olive gold, which is starting to interest me, right? Deep olive gold. And then we have deep espresso. So I like deep olive gold, and I also like natural lip. So let's see if we can mix those two. to get the shadows that are both luminous and also rich at the same time. So a light airiness, but still have some body to it. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take our young lady over here. We're going to bring back that stencil because we're going to work on her face again. So we want to do this deep olive gold. Let's see how this goes. I never used it yet. Oh, no, I did use it. Oh, no. See that? The little cup thing is still there. So I have to grab it. That's going to be interesting. You guys ever have that where the top kind of comes out? Let's see how we're going to do this. We got this. Okay, there it goes. I'm using my noggin once in a while. There you go. Got it. See, it was stuck in there. Bring it right in there. And put this here. Now it's my job to shake this up. Give it a good shake. Again, it's going to look dark in the cup, I believe. Let's see. Give it a little more shake. So it's a deep espresso. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in this natural lip. You know, and when you mix colors, it's okay to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to start over. It's not quite it. You know, don't go down that road if that road doesn't look like it's the right road. And I'm just going to mix this before I go crazy with the 4011 because I'm not committed to it. Ooh, I'm liking it. Maybe a little bit more of this lip color. Just, you know what? I'm thinking some illustration orange, you know? Here we go. We have, let me get a little bit of illustration orange here. That's what I'm thinking. Just a tiny bit to add some luminosity. That's what I'm thinking. Pull this over. You definitely don't want your artwork anything around here. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. We don't care. We're going to go to the loony bin together. So you see that? And that's going to do something to it. And that makes me feel like we're okay. And the thing is, we can always adjust, right? Just like we put pastel. We don't try and find the perfect pastel stick because it doesn't exist. So we adjust. Now, we're going to 4011 this, but I'm going to 4011 it 3 to 1. So, having it nice and thin, you have a real gradual decision making, right? If you go and you put it on there and you don't like it, it's a very thin layer, so no big deal. And give it a really good mix. Notice I'm not a real eraser guy. I'm not real big on, you know, reductive details. That's just my style, you know. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's just the way I do it. I will do an occasional erasing here and there, but I try to stay away from it. It's just not my upbringing. I was trained very specifically, so I kind of adhere to that. But no, there's no right or wrong to it, that's for sure. And I love what everyone does with that. It's just a great technique. Okay, we're going to put this back on our young lady here. And of course, she is also Persephone in Underground. And I'm planning on doing a gallery show of just my Persephones. Do I have a gallery yet? No, but I know it's going to give me a really good body of work to have a show that I think would get good press and everything like that. So that's kind of maybe my whole 2024 goal, right? And all right, so we have this one right here, which is the Extreme Patriot 105. And once again, we're going to test spray on here. Make sure the airbrush is working correctly. There she is. Okay, so it's kind of a deep flesh color. And Michael says, Tim, also thank you for the India ink and the strainer. I like the strainer a lot. No, I don't sell them. I give them as gifts. And I just want to say you're very welcome. And so, yeah, so I'm trying to get more of them so I can give more away to you guys. That's what I want to do, because I want to share that. I think it's a great product, but I won't be selling it. I'll just be giving it as gifts. Okay, so this is a very light color. Super light, but I think it's okay because it's going to add a little bit of volume. But I'm going super light. I know I'm kind of going tentative today, but that's okay. But it's nice to model the forms slowly. We don't always got to go in guns blazing, right? Let me show you exactly what I'm doing. And move this over. Put a little magneto right there. So stay tuned this weekend. It's going to be a real fun. Christmas is on Monday, so Christmas Eve. I think it might be on Saturday that I'll end up doing the live stream, which would be part 2 of painting in oil painters for airbrush artists. Oil painting for airbrush artists. Just very lightly darkening things up. I really like the subtlety here, which is great. Colette says, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Colette. I appreciate that. And don't forget, we're going to be using the eyes, nose, and mouth stencil soon, which will be great. And I'm also using this mixture for the lips, upper and lower. No time like the present to go ahead and work on specific areas. So even though the color's not perfect, right? It's not the perfect color. What we do now is we're building color slowly, and that's what I do in pastel. I build it slowly. But these lifeline colors are just amazing, and we did cheat a little bit by bringing in some illustration orange to just add a little touch of a little more life to this kind of light shadow color. And again, look how dark this value is, and look how light it is on there. So it's dark in the cup, it's light on the painting. So remember that next time you're mixing color. And thank you everybody for the super chats. It's just so amazing. You all are so fantastic. I can't believe Christmas is coming soon. Wow. This year did fly, didn't it? 2023. But I'm so glad I got to hang out with you guys 52 times. 51 times. No, 50, because there's 2 more weeks, right? No, there's more than 2 weeks in the year. So probably around 47 times so far in 2023. I got to hang out with you all. Nice and subtle. Look how super subtle it is. We have plenty of time to go in like a cowboy. We'll build it up. And Honey says that she likes the progress and the way the background plays off the skin tone. Wow, thank you. I appreciate that, Colette. Yeah, how it kind of, you know, like you're, like if you have an ensemble, like a fashion, an outfit, you want to echo those colors somewhere else. So even the flesh colors, and that's what I try to do when I design a painting, is think of it as an outfit, right? That's important. So thank you for that, honey. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. And there we go. So super subtle, super happy with it. Here I'm keeping it, so I've learned from my mistakes. So sometimes I lighten the glabella, which is the impression from the forehead, and it goes into the nasal bone and into the cartilage of the nose. That's a little indent. So in the last painting, I lightened it up, and I had to fight it the whole painting. So now I'm learning from my last painting to actually, you know, the best defense is not to be there. So what gave me trouble last time is something I use to actually concentrate on this time. So let me see if I can build up the darks, but I don't have to, right? I can go a little bit darker next time, or I can even do a second layer, but I'm actually going to go darker next time. Just make sure that I'm not creating one color next to another. I'm kind of overlapping my values. Very pretty. Okay, now we're going to take these off. Turning the heater off. It was getting a little stuffy in here, so, but if I turn it off, then it'll cool down and then I can put it back on again. So fantastic. All right, so now for her fingers, right? We're going to work on the darks of her fingers. And far away, we're so far away from the completion of this painting, but we're getting more savvy with the direction and, the succession of colors, right? We're getting much more savvy with that. Always test out your airbrush. Always, always. Good flow. Beautiful. All right, so now the darks of her fingers. Let's zoom in and we'll go work on that. Let's make this happen. And of course, I'll be buffing the colors and going over it with my white mixture and orange, white and orange mixture. Whoop, we're getting a little bit of a cough here, so let's see what's happening. Maybe raise the air pressure just a tad. There we go. Okay. Now, when things are not working well and you make the adjustments like I just make, and if that doesn't work, then you abort and you clean that airbrush. If you have a second airbrush, use that, but don't continue down that road. Not good. So you can see I got a little blotchy because I was a little close. So you want to be at least 3 inches away. So no matter what it does, it's going to be much more, how do you say, it's going to be a lot more softer. So this blotchiness is caused by me being too close. And you're going to learn lessons with every painting. So my lesson here is to make sure I stay far enough away. Put a little more on her face there. So this is my main concern, right? So we're working on main concerns today. So our main concern is the flesh, and we're going to continue with that. So here's one of the times you'll see me erasing. So again, you can see that I got way overzealous with that. It's too early to go in with the white mixture. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Mr. John says you need to call it a night. Thank you so much for the super chat, John. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you and your family have an amazing Christmas, and I hope you get some airbrush stuff from Santa. That would be great. And Patty says she looks great. She don't want to, but she needs to sign off. Just drop by to cap her airbrush. Need to go hunt for it and clean up. Take care. Merry Christmas. Thank you for hanging out and keep doing the wonderful work. And hoping Santa gets you some really cool airbrush paints, some Createx or something like that. That would be amazing. So, that is great. So glad that Patty and John got a chance to hang out, and I got to see them, so that is great. So you see, I'm just going to calm that down. I don't know if this knock eraser is going to do the trick. I think it will. Yes, it did calm it down just a tad. So I do have the shellac, and the shellac really, it gives the paper, you know, strength. So when I erase it, I'm not tearing into the paper, which is a plus. It's like just when you shellac a piece of wood, you're basically weatherproofing it, and that's what shellac does. But shellac for painting is really good because it has a very low pH. So it's acid free. It's not going to burn your paper, and it also is light fast, so it's not going to yellow or do anything like that. So that is a super plus both ways. Okay, so you see how I was able to calm down that red that I overdid because I was too close, right? You're too close, and that's not good. All right, so I'm really happy with that. I think that's a good start. I still have this dark color, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint right by the Retrobicularis Oculi fat pad. Right here. Make sure I get this shade down correct. Zoom out here. Right over here, a little strong, but that's okay. So definitely now as I go darker, this color is no longer the color we want to get a little more of a less saturated, darker color for over here for working on the darks, just deepening things up a little bit. So here's my game plan. I'm thinking of using this color, but adding something darker to it. And so just a little bit in here. And let's see, what can we add to it to kind of gray it down a little bit more. So here's something. We have the Deep Espresso. Let's see what that does, guys. And we may add like illustration or umber or something like that to kind of darken that even more. Or even just kill the saturation. And I'm going to dump this color here. There we go, dump that out. And I made myself my own little place where I spray so I don't fumigate the apartment. So now I'll take my little paper towel and then we'll run some agua through here. Let's see. There we go. Spray this out. we're going to a darker color, so it's not a big deal if we have residual of this lighter color. Notice that I've been going progressively from light to dark, right? So that's good. And always clean this cap. I learned my lesson. The cap will really mess you up if it's dirty. Has paint on it. Alright, so here we have this color, and I think that would be good. I'm going to add just a bit of 4011 to it, just a tad. We're going to go back to our stencil again. Let's mix this up really. So basically we've been doing this whole underpainting with just the Tim Gore's Lifeline set, which is great. And with an underpainting, you're not looking to get things exact. You're looking to get a nice base that you can grow on, right? So on this hand, it's looking dark, but we want it to be dark, but it may be too light, so kind of the opposite, right? Put that in. I should have diluted this a little bit more, but we'll see. Okay. All right. Now, always test, everybody. See how different it is from the color that we had, right? So it's much, much darker. And let's see. We are going to go, we're going to put that stencil back on. I just don't want to overspray where I don't need it. I mean, it's no big deal. I can go over it. But let's not make more work for ourselves. Cleanliness is really important. I mean, it's not crucial, but it just makes for a better painting. And anything that makes for a better painting is worth doing. I don't think anyone has said, you know, that's a great painting. I just love how messy it is. You know, that's just something that doesn't happen. And hey, JC, how's it going? Great to see you, my friend. How are you? So glad you're here, sir. And it looks like I spilled a little. Me spill? Never. Let's see. Okay. Again, let's test our spray. Just a beautiful flow. Again, this Tim Gore set, the Lifeline set, you just, you know, got to try it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Deeper, still a little saturated, but we can always desaturate, right? Gonna lower that air pressure. Put the magnet close to the edge, but see, we have to have the low profile, right? Far away is going to keep things even. Everything is very transparent, light and airy, but that's going to go away once we come in with the white mixture, like I always do. The white and orange mixture. Just sort of melt everything together and then start over, and creates more of a unified kind of oil painter kind of look to it, which I like. And JC says, good, likewise, Tim. Thanks for asking. How's the new place? Not bad. Oh, yeah, it is. It really is starting to feel like home. Thank you, sir. Yeah, in the last couple of months, home didn't feel like home in the other place. So I'm happy that that's over. So I'm using that to hit her lip there. And I'm going to spray the lower lip a little bit. And of course, her lower lip is much brighter, so that means I would come in with the orange and white mixture and then come back in with a pinkish color and kind of redo that. We have this beautiful color here coming down. I'm about 3.5 to 4 inches away, otherwise it would be blotchy, right? So always make sure that you are making sure that your application is soft and wispy. And just very slowly building up darker values. There we go. But as far as the first couple of layers, I have to say, I'm really happy with the second time around using Tim Gore's colors for my color underpainting. Alright, so that is it for that. And maybe we'll work on her hair a little bit, or I'm not sure what we'll do next, but we got to work on her hands. And we'll lift this. And there we go. Just a very clean, very really nice early going that we're going to be able to use this. Change is good sometimes. Exactly, Jesus, definitely. It is something that, you know, sometimes we need a push to change. And I think for me, from God, I needed that push, because I was kind of really content where I was, even though it wasn't the best place for me. That's for sure. We get comfortable. Oh, the hands. So let's zoom in on her hands. I'm really going to concentrate on the large areas, like right here. See that? Just the large shadow areas. I'm going to come in with the dark in the really dark area, and what that's going to do is give a luminosity. So when I come in with even a darker color, it's going to have that kind of feeling of flesh in the darkness, which is really good, you know. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got. And okay, so pretty good start. And I may do a little bit of erasing, but we'll see. Maybe just a little bit right here. It went a little rich over here. So maybe I can just calm it down a little bit. If nothing else, it's distracting. I mean, it's not going to make a difference in the whole painting gamut, but it's a little distracting here. But I'm not going to go where I start, like, you know, digging into the paint or anything like that, into the surface. Just if I can erase that little bit on the edge. But right here we have a little bit of light color next to her hair, so we definitely can fix that. And I'll put a little bit of dark flesh in her hair, in the dark of the hair, to create a unified feel to the painting. Okay, so very happy with the start. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for something else here to really bring this together. So, so this darker color, before I do that, where can I do that in the background? The darker fleshy color. Let's see. There we go. So you see just a little bit of a variation, and then we'll come back to that. It's a little dark, so I might erase that or use the orange mixture with that. We'll decide. So let's see what else we have. So we're going to put this away, and we're going to come in with, we're going to work on her hair. So let's see. And we're not going to be using the lifeline for the hair. We're going to be switching on over to Wicked, I believe. Let's see. So I'm looking for the hair only stencil. Not this. Not that. I think this is it here. Okay. Very good. Okay, I think this is what we're looking for, if I'm not mistaken. And again, this is just for cleanliness. It really isn't making a big difference. Put that right here. Let's see, so just setting this up right like this. Gotta get it. That's where the glasses really come in, guys. And we're just going to hold it. And so close to the edge on the camera left, we're going to use the low profile magnets. So remember, you want to use the magnets to cover what you use, the stencil to cover what you don't want to spray. So this way you could have the edges that you're looking for where you want to spray, right? And then right here. Okay. Let's see. Move this over and make sure we don't get any kind of underspray. So my first concern is to make sure that the stencil is in the correct spot, and then we can hit those darks really nicely. Okay, now we're going to move our wonderful lifeline set because that is our underpainting for the color. So that is nice. So I'm very excited about that. So looking at the dark of her hair. So I'm thinking we're going to go with Wicked. So I'm thinking brown, right? So I did see some really good Wicked colors that I think we can use. Let's put this over here. And I think it was Wicked Brown. I like that one. We have Detail Burnt Umber. That will work. So I can take some Detail Burnt Umber, 50-50, with some black. Let's see. We'll coat the bottom of that cup. And I want it 1-to-1. And let's see. Just had it earlier. I don't want to use smoke black in this because smoke black is a little too transparent for my taste in this early going. I want to cover sometimes, you know, like especially like large areas of the hair. Okay, let's go with Wicked Black, 0002 Wicked Black. And I'm going to do 50-50 of that. JC says, Tim, I have been searching on the 10 TB storage hard drive, 10 terabyte storage hard drive for the videos I said I would send you, but no luck. I'll just make you a new one. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. When you have time, I will be very thankful. So cool. Yeah, sometimes things just hard to find. So there we go. 1-to-1 with black and detail burnt umber. Now I'm going to do this 3-to-1. There we go. And now I'm going to mix it really good. And I should get a nice brownish black. And I'm going to make sure that I mix it really well. Again, it's much darker in the cup, and I have a feeling when I spray it, it's going to be lighter. And it's a very deep color. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of having a sinking feeling that I put too much black in. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my detail burnt umber. I'm going to put it in another cup. And when I put that in another cup, then I'm going to add some of this dark mixture to it. And I think that's going to get me to where I go. To where I want. It's okay to switch it out. You know, if you feel like it's not quite what you're looking for, it's okay to go ahead and rethink it. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to change gears. If you feel you're going down a road that is not exactly where you want to go, then it always pays to have that little extra bit of, you know, be a little weary of it. Don't second guess your instincts, I guess. That's what I mean. Alright, so we had these two airbrushes. This one was the Extreme Patriot, had the mid-tone, and then this color had the dark. I know the dark will go well right next to the hair, so I'm going to clean this one out. We'll do that. So with the Lifeline, I've been having very good luck. I mean, it hasn't been any kind of chunkies or anything in there, so I'm really happy with it thus far. So I'm feeling confident I can just clean this out and then go ahead and use my deeper mixture. So what I'm learning, you know, doing Wicked paint for a while, is to just be really bold, guys. Guys and girls, be bold with your colors. Don't worry so much. Just go ahead and, you know, paint and make your mistakes, take your lumps, but know that it's going to be good for the next painting. So, and that's what I'm doing. I'm being a lot more bold with my painting and just going for it and trying new things. I think that's so important. Okay, here goes. Here goes nothing, honey. I missed those commercials. Okay, here goes. Oh, beautiful. 3 cheers for Wicked. And you know, it's like I said, so that's kind of the goal. That's kind of like my theme today. The color that you're spraying is usually going to be much lighter than what's in your cup. Remember that. And the funny thing is, it's like the opposite in oil painting. The color that you're mixing is usually darker when you lay it down in oils. And Mr. JC says he has so much stuff on it, and as far as it looks, I'm not very. Oh, I think that's everybody, sir. Especially with those terabyte hard drives. That's more information than people, 40 years had stored anywhere in their house before. So really nice, kind of a chestnut-like color. I'm gonna hold this down. So I'm really excited about the other two live streams we're going to be doing during the week. Interesting. I am getting it seems to be reacting to the white that I did in the original underpainting. So I'm not sure what exactly is happening. It's not as dark as I want to get, but that's okay. I can come in darker later. So that's no problem. And I have a lot of control, so I can actually go in and get some of these real subtleties here. Let's see. Wow, two more besides that. That's a lot of terabytes. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of information. That's great. So this color is rather interesting. It's not as dark. So see this color, how it looks on its own? I'll zoom in and you'll see that I have to go much darker. See that? That's a pretty light color. So I can actually start using that color for the light area. And I'm going to increase my distance like so. And this way I can use it for the light area. So I'm just increasing my distance. And then we could kind of block out the light area. And then we're going to go much lighter. Just kind of block it out. Now I could go ahead and use that original dark color that I wanted to use first. So we're going to go ahead and dump this out. Okay. Now let's see how this original dark color stacks up. Let's see. I think this is going to be significantly darker. Oh, yes, two more live streams. That's going to be fun, definitely. I'm excited about it. I want to do one live stream which is going to go back to, remember what we were doing earlier in the year and years before that, just doing the India inks. So there's just going to be an India ink from beginning to end live stream, the Wicked live stream, and the oil painting for Airbrush Artist live stream. So 3 pretty powerful live streams that I think are going to be really beneficial to you all. Just open up different things to us and share some of the new breakthroughs that I have been getting. There we go. You see I'm just starting to hit some of these darks. And getting a little bit of coughing. So we're just going to blow out. Make sure that if there is anything stuck, do the low-hanging fruit and try and solve it. And I think that did the trick. Not really. Didn't really do the trick. So when that happens, the best thing to do is to stop, drop, and roll. But not exactly, but to stop, flush, and clean out that nozzle. There's no way around it, right? For me to continue coughing with this, I'm going to try one more time to see if I'm getting proper flow, but I'm not going to wrestle with this, and neither should you. But it seems like I'm getting good flow now, so you probably heard me and said, nope, I don't want to go under the sink. And it's nice now. I guess that last blowout, I blown out the airbrush really worked. And again, this is just very basic, just getting the shapes down. Sort of the color underpainting all around. Let's see how that goes. And yeah, definitely, JC, it's just, I just want to take things to that next level. And so extraordinary results require extraordinary actions. And I want 2024 to be a real memorable year for my channel, for my artwork, for you guys, for Airbrush in total. We're going to come here, kind of put some of this here. Work in some of these darks. Just the large shapes, because a paintbrush is a terrible thing to waste, right? So we're just going to work on the large shapes here. Okay, so that's it for now. We're not trying to solve the painting's mysteries at this point. We're just kind of, working in the large shapes, and we'll see how this looks so far as the large shapes are concerned. But the Wicked paint held up really well, I have to say, and so that's great. That is a lot of memory, definitely, all those terabytes, oh my goodness. Let's see, all right, let's lift this. Okay, look at that, more structure, right? That's what we're looking for, structure, structure, structure. So now, what else can we do to create more structure? So one of the things I want to do is I want to fight hard edges as they happen. So let me see, this is still wet and malleable. So I guess I'm just going to fight this hard edge just a little bit. But I am working on paper, so I'm careful not to damage anything. And just soften that a bit. Just, it's not going to make a big difference. I still will be able to soften it, using the color next to it. But, why wait till then? Why not make my life easier in the future? Make life easier for future Tim. This is a little softer edge here. Okay. Now right here I have a nice dark that comes here. So let's see if I can use this dark that I had before. Let's see how this works out, guys. See that? Just hitting that dark a little bit. And then I'm going to increase my distance to soften it up. Just like that. And then come over here and soften this up. And then over here we have some nice soft. And I'm going to plan on coming in with an even darker color to kind of hit these areas. Increasing my distance, like maybe 7 inches at this point, and then coming over here. There we go. Okay, so pretty happy with that, but let's not get too specific right now. Let's kind of still work on, building things up. So I'm looking for another stencil, and basically we're doing the same thing we did last week with the India ink, but now we're just translating that into our initial layers of color. So this is all stuff that you all can do, in your own work, and that's why I do these live streams, so you guys can, refer to this, look at it again, use that in your own artwork, that sort of thing. So I'm looking for the eyes, nose, and mouth. And we're going to be careful not to go too dark with this. We just want to establish, right? That's all. Keep everything clean and kind of coming along at the same rate, so to speak. So today, using the Lifeline, I hope you all go ahead and purchase it. It's really great, and it's just good to have in your repertoire, right? And, if you're ever stuck on what colors to do in your initial layers, well, this set will really help you. And play with them. That's the main thing. So I really have to make sure I line this up perfectamundo. Okay, I think this is pretty good. And so I'm going to start with the darks here on her nostril. But you know what I'm going to use? I'm not going to use that dark color that we had, right? That we did for the hair. I'm actually going to start with that beautiful dark color we're using here. We can always build it up and go darker, but this will establish the dark. I have the lips here, but I'm going to cover that for now. We don't want to overspray where we don't want it. Honey says, got a bit of dew, sleepy time for her. Catch rest in the morning. Honey, thank you so much for the super chat. It's always great to see you, and I really appreciate your participation, coming to the live streams. It's a great honor, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And have a great night and I'm sure I'll see you around social media, but have a great, wonderful Christmas if I don't talk to you. Okay, so we're going to be working on her eyes, which her eyes are dark, but they're not black, right? So Let's zoom in and see if we got this right. It's good for me to see it too. Let's see. Okay, so looking at this, I can see that this stencil is a little low. Let's zoom in and see if I'm correct. Let's see. A little low, so we can raise this up. Again, you want to make sure that you do everything you can to give yourself the best chance of success. So I think it's just a slight adjustment to the left like this. That looks much better, doesn't it? Okay, so we'll go with this. And I'm even going to just worry about one area at a time, adjust it and everything, just to make sure it's perfect. And so that's cool. Oh yes, so Mr. Silver, the Lifeline by Tim Gore's Bloodline series, there's a lifeline. It's really great for if you're not sure how to paint flesh. It's really perfect. So that's really good. So I highly recommend that. Let's see. Okay, so we're coming in with this darker color. And again, it was with the, I believe the Extreme Patriot Arrow. No, that was the super dark color. I think it was the 105. Yes. Okay, so we're going to start with the 105. And we're just going to lightly spray that. And one thing Mr. Leahy said was pretty good is if you want it not to billow as much, you go pretty much straight on. Okay. I'm going to lift it up and see how it looks. See if we're where we want to be. Okay. That looks really good. Let's zoom out and see. Yes, so that's on the money. It's brown, so we're going to come in with a darker color, but it's a good color to start with. Rather than go with black and trying to lighten it up, it'd be best to go with a brown and darken it up as you go, right? So that's so important, and so very, very true. So JC says, before I forget, like Tim said, the police got his dog, everyone. I meant Feliz Navidad, everyone. Feliz Navidad, amigo. So I'm so happy you're here on this Wednesday, Mr. JC. So that is so cool. Okay, so that lines up really nice. And let's go ahead and let's spray the eyebrow just a tad. Make sure I have a good spray because from 1 minute to the next, your spray could be different. And it's a nice rich red color, so it will darken nicely. I'm just going to hit this super light. Super light. And let's see what we have. Very nice. Very nice beginning, right? And that's what we want. A very nice mapping out of the shapes. And we're going to continue doing this until we're pretty happy with the picture as a whole. So that's cool. And let me get a swig of my seltzer water. So like Mr. Leahy, a lot of the background I'll do with paintbrush techniques, and but where I want it nice and soft, that's where, you know, working with the airbrush is really perfect. Air Todd, it says Felice Naughty Todd. That's pretty funny. So happy Naughty Todd, huh, sir? That's hilarious. Okay. Now, happy with it. It's still early, right? But we're going at a good pace. And at this point, you kind of ask yourself, do I want to go ahead and finish an area? No, we don't want to do that. We want to pretty much cover the whole painting as quickly as possible so we can, in turn, start to see um, all of the relationships and work on that, because you're painting the painting as a whole. You're not doing an eye, another eye, a nose, a mouth. You want to paint the ensemble. So when it's done, it looks like it was done in 1 hour. Like it's just the way it was, right? Especially when it comes to people or animals or something like that, you know. Ah, JC says the folds look great. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, those are very important to me. And so let's go ahead. What else can we do here? Let's see if we can start with the fur. I think I have a stencil for that. Let's see. And that's interesting because we're going to mix that up, right? And see that. And let's see. So JC Air Todd, he can't stop hearing it. Now it's ringing in his head. That's hilarious. And I do have a stencil. I think this is her folds. Let's see. I hope. Let's see. Put this over here. Actually, this is really interesting. Let's see what this is. It is her fur. So look at that. So I have a stencil that just isolates her fur. So that's good. And that's where planning comes in, right? It's well thought out. It's planned. Before I even airbrush it, I'm working on this piece before I touch an airbrush for at least 4 hours. So think about that. Before I even touch an airbrush, it's 4 hours of work, of preparation, of getting everything together, doing the line drawing, and putting that through a program. So making sure it's my line drawing, that this is drawn with my hand, right? So those are just my things that are important to Tim, that's all. Like I said, not better or worse, just what's important to me. And my background, you know, my artistic background. And we want to get this 100% correct. So, you know, why the working with paper and why work with shellac? Because it's an ancient technique and it's something that I really like exploring. I like things that the old masters did, and this is kind of like some of the lost techniques or the secrets of the old masters that kind of died with them. Trying to get this just right is not easy. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to probably have to do this because when I draw it by hand, I'll change it since the stencil, right? I'll draw it by hand, I'll translate it into the stencil, I'll cut it, but then I'll also change the drawing later down the line. So I'm going to work on specific areas from there. First I'll just work on this area, then I'll go to this side. Okay, that's pretty good. And now we're going to figure out what the color is of her fur on her coat there. So I lined it up. I just have this area really taken care of. And even if it's not perfect, I can always fix it, right? So that's no big deal. All right, right over here, right over there. All right, so let's look at this. So I'm going to start with the light color. And the light color is interesting. It is definitely like your burnt orange, right? That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing burnt orange. That's all that's hitting me is burnt orange, burnt orange, burnt orange. So I'm going to be looking for the burnt orange by Wicked, preferably the detail burnt orange. And let's see if we could get there. Oy. I'm still out of boxes, guys. We got Wicked Brown, which I was looking for earlier. Oh, look at that. Detail Burnt Orange, Your Friend and Mine by Wicked 00666. We're going to mix that up really well. That's a really light color. So I am going to... we're going to mix a little bit of white with it, right? Do I use spray shellac? That's a great question. I was just looking at that and talking to Colette about it. I use the stuff in the can. Let me see if I can show you all. There's a lot of homemade shellac that you can do. I don't recommend that at all. But you can use this. This is the Zinsler Bullseye Shellac. And it comes in an amber and it comes in a clear. You want to use the clear. Still a little bit yellow. It's going to change your picture a little bit. But what you do is when you use it, I apply it with a foam, these little guys right here. So I apply it with this little guy. And I make sure that I only submerge it to the top, maybe 15% of it. And you mix it really well with a stir. You don't want to shake the can because you'll have bubbles. So you want to mix it with a stir gently until it gets to the light color again. And then once that is, you're going to dip it only in the first 15%. And you're just going to give a nice light coat, even coat. Right? It's going to be pretty fast and furious. And then once that's done, you put it aside. So around 1 o'clock, I finished my underpainting and it was ready by 9:30. So I would give it a good 8 hours to actually be ready. So it's pretty easy. It's light fast. It also is... it's not too acidic, which is perfect. It's not going to, change the chemistry of your colors. The pH balance is really good. And so far I'm having success. I've never seen anyone any artist use the spray. So with that being said, I would definitely experiment, JC, and see what happens. But definitely the foam, use the only 10 to 15% of the foam part, and then just put that in the light coat, and that would be great. Okay, so I want to mix this with white. So, but you know what? I have this color, and this color is pretty good. And I'm going to mix this because it looks pretty close in here. It looks pretty close to what I want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a separate cup and add the detail burnt orange, right? And we'll we'll play with that. So we'll put a little bit of this in here, like so. And then we'll take some of our detail burnt orange. Oh, you used the same brand and diluted it with denatured alcohol to make it flow better. Oh, great. So that's great information. Thank you for that. So JC is a woodworker, so he knows about the Zinsler. He knows about this stuff, so that's good. So his knowledge goes a long way in helping us use the shellac. And it's an ancient technique. Artists been using it for hundreds and hundreds of years. So right now it's a little too fleshy, and I'm going to mix more of that burnt orange. But I'm liking the direction, everybody. Really loving the direction. So great info. I really appreciate that, JC. Whoop, I had the wrong color. Always keep my head in the game. So we got to go back to our detail burnt orange. Always love burnt orange. So I oil painted today, and whenever I oil paint, I'm always much more bold with color. It's looking pretty good. Let's see. And this is going to be the light color, right, of her fur. Not her fur, but the fur that, you guys know what I mean. All right, so I have this here, so I have to dump this out. And this was my darkest dark that I was working with earlier. Okay, so we're going to put some water through this. We've been doing pretty well, you know. I mean, the airbrushes have been playing nice, and I'm happy with that. They don't always play nice. Spray that through, and then take a rag. Okay. Okay, here goes nothing. This is the color. We're putting that in there, and hopefully we're going to get a good spray. Let's see. Okay, so let's test it out always. Make sure. Of course, this is the 105. And I'm really happy. I think my Extreme Patriot Arrow and the Extreme Patriot 105 really hold up to some of the roughest kind of applications of acrylic painting. So not just for inks. They really love the inks, but it's not just for inks. Okay, so we're working on the light areas of her fur. Here goes nothing. We're going to do this side first. Her hands are covered. Let's see. And it's a little bit lighter, but I can always glaze a darker color. Remember, glazing always goes over a lighter color, and that we can do. And don't be afraid to use a paintbrush to hold that down. I'm about 4 inches away. 4 inches, because 4 or 5 inches, you're going to get a very light, even spray. And it's a little on the yellow side. That just means we're going to have fun glazing an orangey color. And the further away is going to keep everything really nice and smooth. There we go. So this is exactly what we want. Just a basic kind of block in some color. That's not exactly perfect, but will get us there in the long run. Let's get some magnets close to the edge here. Sort of like a bomber jacket. There we go. Now let's see how it looks. I kind of like the orange, and then I can always deepen that orange later, but keep it on the light side. And let's see how this looks for us. And I want to keep it just basic blocked in. I don't want to go ahead and put the lights, middles, and darks in here. That comes later. We just want to make sure we start painting the whole ensemble of her. Let's see how this translates when we lift this. Oop, 2 more magnets. Hello. Let's see. Okay, so you see things are happening, and let's see if we can go ahead and kind of even things out a little bit. So this was actually her mid-tone flesh color, and then we added burnt orange to it. Now I kind of like that because everything is going to have a relationship, a color relationship, which is nice. Okay, we're just taking our time. All right, so we're looking at her. I'm liking it. Now we're going to see if we could actually hit some of these darks in here that I think would help give some structure to her. So let's see if we can get that together. Let's see. I'm going to move this over here. And oh, look at that. It's 11:20 already. So I think we got a lot done today. I think it was a good lesson on, you know, how to get skin tones, right? Kind of demystify that. And that's what I always want to do. Demystify things that seem hard, and they are hard, but to have a good direction, which I'm coming up with a really good direction using Createx paints, which is fantastic for Airbrush. They are just amazing. Let's see what this does. Alright, so this is an interesting stencil here. Okay, so it covers up the fur. Interesting. Let's see what this does. There we go. Oh, thank you. JC says it's coming along good. I really appreciate that, sir. Thank you Brad said, don't forget to smash the like button, peeps. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. And for my final trick of the day, I'm just going to go and use the little boy's room, and I'll be right back. So we're going to have the final conclusion of what we're going to do today. I think it's going to bring it together. But give me just a couple of moments, guys. Thanks, guys. I'm back. Whoever's here, we're going to... Dwayne, how's it going, sir? So glad you're here. So Dwayne says, looking good. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. And thank you so much, JC and Brad and everything. Let's go ahead and, if you have time, we're just going to go ahead and hit the dark here. So I'm going to use several stencils here. I'm going to put this here, like so. And then put that here. I want to hit this dark right there, and I think that will look really good. Now, there's one more in here I think we can use. Actually, here is her face stencil. So we can put that right here. Cover up all the important areas. And then we're going to hit it with that really nice dark that we had earlier for her hair. So I'm just going to worry about the bottom quadrant. There we go. So we have the hair, we have the hand. That's a concern because the hand is kind of exposed. I don't want that to be exposed. Do I have that hand to be covered? That's a very good question. Okay, so what I would definitely have to do is just kind of cover her hand with a freehand shield. Nothing like going old school there. That's the red color, and the Extreme Patriot Arrow has the really dark color. Okay, here goes. So we'll put the magnets close to the edge, no billowing or less billowing. And we'll just go right here, cover that hand. Make sure that hand is nice and covered. And then what I'm going to do off camera, I'm going to come in and hit the darks of her outfit there, you know, the shadows and the folds. This goes right up here to her ear. Move this down. Sometimes the magnets will be in your way. Okay, so basically I'm just darkening that area. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to make a stencil for her hand. And I think that would be better to go a little bit further. But you can see this is going to give a little more structure to her face, hopefully. And we'll lift this up and we'll see how it looks. Happy Festivus to the rest of us. Yes, that sounds good. I am going to be doing the feats of strength soon, right? Okay, so that worked out. It created a nice sense of structure to her, which I'm really happy. Another thing, you know, putting this dark here lets us know how much darker we have to go with her face. When it looked really dark, we realized that it isn't dark at all. But thank you, JC. JC said a great life. He'd have a great night, my friend. Thank you so much, Air Todd. Thank you, Dwayne, for the super chat. Really appreciate you. Thank you, Brad, for the super chat. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Um, Thank you, Mr. Steve Leahy. Let's see if I can get to all the super chats. Michael McClung, Dwayne, of course. Mr. Patrick, thank you so much. Brad, Honey, John Diekman, Steve Leahy, once again. Thank you, everybody, for the great super chats. Thank you, everyone who came and hung out with me on a Wednesday evening. I really appreciate you. I have so much fun on Wednesdays. I always look forward to this more than you know. That's why I don't miss a Wednesday, because it's the best thing going on in the week for me. Hey, how's it going, Willie? Great to see you. Merry Christmas, my friend. So glad you can make it. So I just want you all to know, Mr. Willie, very Merry Christmas. And I will be doing a live stream before Christmas. I believe it's going to be Saturday, but I'll send it out for you guys. And hopefully, if you can make it on a Saturday, I think that's when I'm going to do the live stream, which is going to be Airbrush for oil painters. And I think you're going to want to see this, because all your skills as an oil painter, all your skills as an airbrush painter, you'll be able to use that in this new exciting medium for you if you haven't tried it. So have a great Christmas. Thank you, everyone. You all are amazing. I had a lot of fun working with you, and I'm going to be working on this during the week, so we'll be ready for some new adventures with this painting next Wednesday. Take care.